welcome to Pokemon Movie Club with me, Marty, Starby Joe, and Birdkeeper Toby. And today we will be talking about the sixth.
It is the
sixth Pokemon movie.
Well, do you count Mewtwo Returns?
No.
Well, TPC I do.
I count it. Officially, I think it's the sixth. That's right. It's the
Little Toby just lagged out a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
There
What
we go.
did you just say?
Nothing. We're good. I don't
Okay.
know why I would have lagged out. That's weird.
Jirachi Wish Maker. I didn't actually say the title,
No,
did
you
I?
didn't.
So it is the sixth movie. Well, wasn't the Mewtwo Returns?
Yeah.
Just a feature length.
It was a New Year's special in
And it was straight to video
2001.
thing.
It was straight to video,
Yeah,
but they said an
but it's
all-new
not-
movie
It's
adventure.
not a movie.
But it said an all-new movie adventure on the
But
VHS box.
It's not. It's not. It's
It
not.
kind of is. It's we'll call it a half, but
It's not.
Anyway,
So Joe, when did the film come out?
okay, the film came out under the name Pocket Monster Advanced Generation Wishing Star of the Seven Knights Jirachi on 19th of July 2003. It was the first movie in the third generation of Pokemon. And it came out about a year later in the West.
doesn't the box art for the, I guess that's the Japanese or Americanized
No,
version,
that's-
looks so cool
Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot to set this up earlier. I was like 10 minutes before our Discord call. I was like, oh, I haven't got an
Look how
image.
rubbish our box art is compared to
Yeah.
that box.
Well, actually, no, it's quite simple, but
Less
I
is
kind of
more.
like it.
Although, it's weird that on their box art, there's Torchic, Trico, and Mudkip, but I'm pretty sure Torchic shows up, but I don't think the other two do at any point.
That's
Briefly.
a very good point,
Briefly.
actually.
They're very interested in my anime decks because they appeared in one scene.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Joe,
Yes.
the short, which we don't actually get on this DVD. However, when you go into the extra scenes, you can see descriptions.
It's not just
and
the extra
pictures.
scenes. On the main menu, the main picture has got Pikachu and Meowth, and that's a picture from the short.
short, which isn't on the DVD. So, what was the short?
The short was the final short, which was tied with a movie. It's called Gotta Dance, or what's it? The Mysterious Stage of Dancing Pokemon. It featured various dancing Pokemon and sound-based Pokemon, including Whismur and Ludicolo. And it was just basically Team Rocket in a secret base and dancing. And
And Meowth does a musical number at the end?
yes.
Why do I know about this? This was relevant to a video once upon a time. Hang on, I'm going to look this up.
Was that the 3D animation?
No.
No, I'm thinking of someone else.
No, you're
Okay.
thinking of Meowth's party
Yeah.
from Peachy
Okay.
Brothers Party.
Because when
Pack.
Toby
Oh,
said
maybe
that, I'm
that's
like,
what-
that's what I think of when I hear what Toby just said.
Maybe that's
Was we had Ruby and Sapphire, that was out by this point,
Yes,
I'm assuming.
yes, this is the first movie
so
of the
there
third
was-
generation.
There was no new Pokemon here. that
Well,
were-
Jirachi was introduced for this movie.
Okay, but did we know about Jirachi? Well, were they
yeah.
Jirachi events in the game beforehand? Probably not.
No,
So
I don't think
was
it's written.
Jirachi
Introduced specifically for this movie.
and revealed
Yes.
on the run up like,
Yes.
oh, there's a mythical Pokemon in
Well,
the game as well. I
I
mean, I'm guessing
remember-
some people probably found it because of, action replay and
Or
whatnot.
they just
Yeah.
visited Sarah.
I remember having a physical book that had a Pokedex in it with all the Pokemon, and right at the back there were these two peculiar Pokemon, Jirachi and Deoxys, and I was like, what are they? How are they related to each other? Like, what are they to do with anything? And I think this would be the first time I would have seen Jirachi on screen, for sure.
It's
yeah.
the first time anyone saw Jirachi on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was, in its lifespan, no new Pokemon here. Like,
It's one of very few movies which didn't introduce... I mean, I guess later on, less upcoming generation stuff was shown, but at this point, it was one of very few movies.
Yeah,
to not
which-
have anything
Actually,
new.
I did not see this video in the age where it came out. I think I first
No, I
saw this
didn't.
video like a few years ago for the first time. I
Same.
don't think I saw this when it first came out.
I mean, there was a time in the UK Pokemon films and even it being on TV was very lacking. Like Pokemon wasn't as easily accessible, and Pokemon cards as well. I mean, that's a topic for another day, but I didn't see this when it came out either. It wasn't until I think I picked this DVD up for about £3 in HMV, probably 2009, so about 10 years ago I picked this one up.
There were toys that came out with this. That had Kyogre, because I had the Kyogre.
Really?
There was an Absol, a Jack's specific figure of Absol, which I had, and since we've moved house, I've lost it, and I'm still losing sleep at night because it was one of my desk buddies, because I love the Pokemon Absol, and I picked it up at Toys R Us when it was the Mew event for the Game Boy games. And I remember the Ruby Sapphire packaging for it, but yeah, I've lost that toy and it upsets me. But yes, to watch this film, this is a Paramount distributed DVD. It's one of the Miramax films though. It's not on any streaming service or any iTunes or anything to download, unfortunately, but you can still pick it up quite cheap in a shop that sells DVDs, maybe Amazon as well. So, Joe, it's your favourite bit.
Yay, when you read I can do a dramatic reading. Catch one of the most amazing Pokemon ever. Jirachi, a magical creature capable of making wishes come true in this all-new Pokemon movie. Only once every 1,000 years, when the Millennium Comet is visible in the night sky, does Jirachi awaken from his slumber. His. And when he awakens this time at a travelling circus, he's got a whole new set of friends by his side. Ash, Pikachu, Max, and the whole gang. But soon they must rescue Jirachi from the clutches of an evil magician and former scientist named Butler, who wants to harness Jirachi's incredible energy to bring to life one of the most legendary and powerful Pokemon of all.
Would it have been too difficult to put 2 extra names instead of saying the whole gang?
Yeah, it would have been less text to say Brock and May.
That was
Max.
I don't get the hate for Max, but that again is a story for another day. Apparently people hate Max.
I didn't know that. I didn't hate Max.
Until the internet, I didn't know. Well, I didn't know that people dislike Max, and then Joe's like, people really don't like Max.
He's the Poochie of Pokemon Advance.
I like Pokemon Advance. I must admit, there did feel like there was a turning point where when Team Rocket lose Arbok and Weezing, where I remember going, oh, it's all over now. It's no longer. I was like, oh, it's over. It's done now. But I since then disagree with that. Like, I think some of the Advanced generation had some of the coolest seasons. It had some of the coolest cool characters. I must admit, because of the way I've been consuming it through the movie club, through what we've been doing, Misty suddenly being gone kind of jarred me a bit. I was like, oh yeah, she's no
that took me by surprise, because I forgot before watching this movie. Oh yeah, Misty's gone now in this, but there is a reference to that as well, which I'll get on to, which definitely should bring up. So there's this comet, like the Millennium Comet, and you can only see it for 7 nights every 1,000 years, and there's a big carnival festival to celebrate, which you see very nicely. That's a very well timed picture coming up on the screen. I have big concerns on how this festival is set up, because there was a train rolling, like you see the tracks being put down, and then not far behind the train. It's like that's not safe. And also like all the convoy coming up with a Ferris wheel intact. And other right, it's like
Butler sets up some podiums by using magic.
Yes, I've written that down here. Clever magic balls.
That's some clever technology.
Yeah, that's really clever technology. I don't know. That's very different. And why did they do all that at night? Surely you should probably set up stuff in the day where there's daylight. Most of my notes here are just criticising how very dangerous and unlikely that situation is. But for most of the films up until now, and even recent films actually, there seems to be, I don't know if trope is the right word, where at the start, they kind of have a environment shot where you get a feel for the environment, be it like 3D animation, like at the start of Power of Us, where it's like a 3D water island thing. And at the start of the second movie, that's all kind of 3D at the start. You get a feel for it. That didn't happen in this film. There wasn't really a...
Well, you got some... Kind of got that with the, amusement park.
Yeah, but I didn't feel it as much. It wasn't as obvious as past films, but that's just my take on setting the scene. So yeah, this comet, and then Ash and friends watch this show by Butler, and Max gets up from the crowd because he can hear a voice in the rock in big letters here, telepathy.
And they say it.
And they say it as well, and we both burst out laughing.
They properly say it. Brock says it, and he has inherited this line now for the rest of the franchise. It's telepathy! And he's going to say it every time, and I'm so excited to start that count.
Are you counting how many times they say in the film?
So I don't think I've been counting so far, but I don't know.
You should. I want you to do that.
I'm counting this as one. I can't remember if he actually says it in any of the previous films.
I think in Mewtwo Strikes Back, they say.
He did? Yeah, no, I think he did. So I think
this
is 2. This is 2, and I'm now expecting that number to just increase with whichever it is. There's a really cool theory about Jirachi, which I will get onto later whenever you ask, but there's a cool theory about it.
Don't ask.
Oh,
yeah, don't ask. Just let me agree with it.
So yeah, and then Butler's like, Jirachi, that's Jirachi in the rock. He wants you to be his friend. And then it hatches when I've got written down here when May does Lullaby Doo Doo, which I didn't think sounded right, and that's because
in the dub, the singing is done by the original voice actor for May in Japan.
Okay.
It didn't I saw when she started singing, I'm like, because Veronica Taylor voices May, and I'm like, that singing doesn't match May. It sounded off, and that's why I said to Joe, I reckon that's the original.
And I checked, and it was.
And he checked, and it was. But Jirachi, under the night sky, Max fell asleep, hugging the rock. May did the lullaby, and Jirachi hatched and liked it, and we soon learn that it's not a very good Wishmaker, Jirachi. It just kind of teleports things, and
Jirachi teleporting May away did make me laugh when he said, get rid of the trouble.
Yeah, get rid of the problem.
Get rid of the problem.
She's gone.
That was quite funny. There were some funny parts in this film, albeit quite dark. Meowth saying,
stuck in the dark, no way out, and just an impending doom. Sounds like my life.
Yeah, it's like, oof. All right, Meowth. And then there was another part where, I can't remember what Jessie said, something about being blind, and James replied that would explain the hair. So good jokes in this one. It had a bit of humour in it. And I was saying to Joe about Team Rocket as well. I do feel like in the earlier seasons, be it film and main season, they were actually laugh out loud funny. Now I don't feel they're that funny and quick-witted a lot like they used to be.
I think there's a lot where they don't really know what to do with Team Rocket.
Yeah.
There's a lot of films where they know they're going to be in it, but they also don't know what to do with the characters. And so in this film, they appear for the first little bit.
Yeah,
and
they already try and steal Pikachu in the first 10 minutes.
They don't really do a lot.
They're kind of useless for this film.
But then plot twist, Butler turns out to be an ex-Team Magma member, which is awesome, who wanted Jirachi.
Yes, wanted to use Jirachi and to open Jirachi's true eye, which is in its belly, if you never knew, because you don't see pictures of Jirachi like that. And, here we go.
I'm going to go to the Cerebi Jirachi Pokemon Pokedex hub.
You do that. And so it wanted Jirachi. He wanted Jirachi's power. He wanted Jirachi to absorb the comet light and to use its power to resurrect.
What's that?
Groudon.
Groudon. Is that
Yeah.
also is that its Game Boy sprite has the true eye open?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never really looked at it closely enough. But problem is, it wasn't a good bit of fossilized Groudon DNA it found, and when Jirachi's power brought the Groudon to life, kind of went a bit wrong, and the Groudon isn't a very good
Oh, I have a
representation of a
different-
Groudon.
It's Meta Groudon.
Meta Groudon, which is what it's called on the Japanese site for this. And so I don't think there's a picture that's going to come up on screen, but the Groudon is all like weird and it has like slimy things that come out of it, and then it just kind of
version of Chaos from Sonic Adventure DX, the perfect Chaos which it takes at the end. Looks just like that.
I never played it, so I can't comment.
Good game. It looks just like it. It's just fiery. Yeah.
But yeah, so this would have been the first animated representation of Groudon.
Well,
though.
Groudon was seen earlier in the movie.
Properly, yeah.
Yeah. So and that was the first time Groudon and Kyogre were ever seen. But there were like
Only a
shadows
little
in the
bit.
second episode, I believe.
Because I just feel like
Well, the Groudon is advertised on the box of
Yeah.
the other version, so
that's
ooh.
I know, but I don't feel like it was made obvious enough that Groudon's not really meant to be like this. Groudon's not meant to have huge things that absorb people. It's really messed up. Groudon. It's when bringing
Okay,
that
was-
thing like in most films and TV. If you bring things back from fossils.
Yeah, Jirachi Wish
back
Maker
to
was
life.
the first.
It's probably not going to go very well, and they're not going to come back
As
the
you
way they're
can
meant
see
to be.
on the Cerebi anime decks.
I didn't say you could plug your site in the show. And yes, that's basically the plot. We'll get on to the main big battle later. I've got written down here, Advanced Generation Japanese opening theme.
Yeah, when they were travelling from the carnival to, what was it, wherever it was.
Wherever Jirachi used to live before it got kidnapped.
It just brought a lyricless version of the Japanese opening theme for Advanced Generation
Which
called
I wouldn't
Advanced
have known.
Adventure.
Joe picked up on that.
I got some questions about the plot in general.
Yeah.
Okay. So Butler is an ex-Team Magma member who wants to use the power of Jirachi, and he knows that Jirachi's gonna hatch sometime around the this festival.
So you're saying, why did he take it from the hometown to the carnival and not just do it
take it to the
there?
carnival, especially when he has like all his equipment is set up back in the home area?
Yeah.
You make a very
Okay,
good point.
I thought you had an answer for that. No,
No,
okay, cool.
don't have an answer for
Convenient,
that.
plot convenience.
And
I was like, so why would he if he's?
I guess that festival was planned to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I guess he was.
He's a magician.
like, well,
he just wanted to
Wait,
be a
hang
part
on.
of it.
Is he a
I do-
magician or a scientist? Because
He's both, because he was doing magic tricks for Diane when he was younger.
so he's a scientist for Magma, ex-scientist for Magma.
There's an old adage. We call magic just science and technology that we do not understand.
Okay.
It's indistinguishable from magic.
Oh,
That's
Toby,
what it is.
you have kind of ruined the plot for me there a little bit. Like, why didn't he
Huh?
just? Why did he take
Yeah,
Jirachi?
why did he?
couldn't he
Well,
just stay
I guess
there?
he was just so, he was like, he has this dream of reviving Groudon, and that's like all very well and good. But he did have a prior engagement, and he's a bad guy, but he's not the kind of bad guy who would like fob off someone who's booked him. He's got a job to do. So magician job comes first.
Okay.
That's
Fair.
your logical plot jump.
Going back to what you said about Misty, Ash says when Max was getting really, really sad because Jirachi is only around for 7 days before it has to hibernate again, and Max was all upset. I don't want Jirachi to go. But Ash was like, oh, but a part of them will stay with you. I had this friend and I really miss her every day.
Makes
I
it
was like,
sound like she died.
Oh. And I looked at Joe, and Joe was like, I'll see if that's just a dub thing.
And it was a dub
It was
thing.
a dub
Dub
thing.
only. Yeah, I know this.
So I want. What did you find out? What the original did
It was
say?
just Ash just continually reassuring Max that the friendship will last.
So yeah, another bit of dub Misty shipping.
Yeah, the shipping. You're gonna love that. That little bit of poke shipping that happens in there.
Stop trying to make it happen, Dubs.
It's over because you know what though, I really enjoyed that moment, not for the shippingness of it, but to me it always upset me how Ash would go on his adventures and seemingly forget about all these past adventures and past Pokemon, and his experience would just disappear. And so moments like that made me go, the writers care about the canon of it all, and those moments are few and far between. So I really, really enjoy them. I think they've got better now with. Certainly because they've brought back Misty and Brock, but in the ways that he gets excited to see them nowadays in the anime. But certainly back then it was like, oh yeah, more of that.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like the anime is very standalone at times. Like you just pick up and watch an episode. Yeah, I know. But then sometimes it feels like, Ash, can you just remember things?
He does. Basically, and I have to explain this a lot. If the Pokedex is used, it's for the benefit of the viewer, it's not for the benefit of Ash. Unless Ash directly references it, which he does like 5% of the time, then it's irrelevant. Just ignore it. And then
they did a really smart thing in the advanced generation by giving May a Pokedex.
Yeah, they did the same with
Dawn
and with Serena.
Yeah. Every time they encountered a Pokemon Ash would have already seen, May scans.
Yeah. And really unfortunately, because of there not being a new trainer in Black and White, you ended up having a time when Ash scanned a Buizel and a Corphish. It's like, you've got these Pokemon.
You've got these Pokemon.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But I
guess it'd be no different to like a Pokemon that we've found before. Just looking it up again.
How many times do I go on Cerebi
to just double?
Even I use Cerebi. It's that good.
So the main bit at the end. Obviously, you have the big legendary battle, and in this case, we got the.
I think that part of that, and part of why there was the giant Celebi creature and thing, and like the fossils, which aren't actually Pokemon, is that they were, don't know if they still are, afraid of having the big bad being like a big evil Pokemon. They've only really done that once with Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is misunderstood.
Oh, very misunderstood.
Since then, in the Power of One, it was Lawrence III. He was just, a pain. In the third movie, it wasn't a real Entei. It was just the unknown creating an illusion. Number 4, it was Team Rocket causing a giant Celebi created grass monster.
Yeah.
Gen 5. Movie 5, it's just Team Rocket, because they're not actually Team Rocket, just causing a problem and creating these like not real Pokemon.
Yeah, and I think it does feel like the bad guys are just generally just misunderstood and not really bad. I have heard
something that True Green 7 said, which is when designing Pokemon, if they feel a Pokemon looks too scary, they add certain design elements to it to make it less scary.
Yeah.
So well, what happened with Savali then? Or Type Null even. Type Null is terrifying.
What are you talking about? It looks fine.
Type Null is
cute.
Terrifying.
He's adorable.
No.
I think they just want it so that every Pokemon, you could take it, you could draw it, and it'd look fearsome. You could draw it, and it'd look cute. So every Pokemon appeals to.
Try and make Type Null look cute.
I don't think they want people to think of. They don't want parents, I think, and children to think of Pokemon as monsters. They want to see those things as friends, and I think that.
I mean, to be fair, it does have like bird talons and fish fins and cat legs and a helmet.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me that you said that the DNA of the fossil wasn't good. Did they say that in the film?
No.
Well, something went wrong with Resurrecting.
I've got a slightly different theory about that.
But it got corrupted the first time he tried it, and when he tried it again, it...
No. I thought, and this isn't the theory I was talking about, this is a different thing, but I don't have enough evidence to back it up or anything, but the Groudon's weird tendrily arms that seem to just be like dissipate and whatever. So Jirachi was absorbing the power of this meteorite. It was firing a laser up to the meteorite, and then
he's going.
I reckon it's like somehow related to Deoxys.
Yeah.
Because
but isn't it interesting that both the movie with Groudon in and the movie of Kyogre in each have these like tendril energy things. This one sucks and grabs, whereas in the Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, it's like used for Ash to fly around.
Earth energy.
I need to refresh.
I don't know. Who knows? But I thought maybe there's a connection because when I was
I like that theory. I do like that.
Around this age, when these Pokemon were first coming out, it was to me. I was like, oh yeah, Jirachi and Deoxys are related somehow because they're both space creatures. They both have relations to meteorites and comets. They both are psychic type.
That's only just dawned on me now.
And of course, they appeared in the same kind of way. And at the time, there were a lot of rumors going around school. Oh, if you're in Ruby and Sapphire, you take the spaceship, you can go to the moon, you battle Deoxys, you battle Jirachi. It was never really super solid which one. I think in the end, Deoxys won out. But so to me, at the time, it was like, yeah, these Pokemon are definitely related. They must be opposites in the same way Latios and Latias, in the same way Mew and Mewtwo, and
I can see some logic.
I can see some logic, and I'm not completely hating it. And I'll be honest, it's the first time.
That's how I thought. Now
this
you
is
tend
the
to think
first
of them
time. Now you've mentioned it, it's like, oh yeah, they are both space Pokemon.
They're both meteorite Pokemon.
Yeah,
they're both related to meteorites.
Stars,
and that actually leads into the second theory, which this is courtesy of the Ruin Maniac files, which is so. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they talk about how there was 1,000 years ago, Groudon and Kyogre showed up when a meteorite fell on Pseutopolis, and the Draconids had to wish Rayquaza to appear to deal with them. And 1,000 years before that, Groudon and Kyogre woke up when meteorites hit meteorite falls. And the idea is that in one of these because it's every 1,000 years that this happens, which is in the movie described as the amount of time that the comet passes by, that in the second event, the meteorite that fell on Pseutopolis, part of this came with a Jirachi, and it woke up Groudon and Kyogre, and then they woke it up and because it's described as they wished Rayquaza to appear. So maybe Jirachi was used to wish the appearance of Rayquaza to deal with these guys. And now in the latest comet meteorite strike in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we get Deoxys showing up. So I could see it. There's I think a lot of ties to it.
I like that. That's some good theories, Toby. I can see why Toby has 200,000 subscribers on YouTube.
That's not my idea. That's all the Ruin Maniac files. Go subscribe to him. He's great. He's wonderful. But yeah.
Just take this one, Toby. Congratulations, Toby, for your 200k.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I didn't impress.
I know, because obviously my main thoughts about the whole big battle thing was the whole how Groudon's not really as he should be. But overall, I didn't feel like it was an overwhelming end battle thing, because some of the films, as we'll get onto, it's just a lot of legendaries and it just gets all very overwhelming. This was quite
quickly, didn't it?
Hmm?
It seemed to wrap up quite quickly.
Yeah.
I sort of blinked and it was over. And
This movie, I described it as it takes forever to get somewhere, and when it does, you'd regret it.
Right.
You're not liking this one, then?
No, this isn't in my favourites.
It is the point where I begin to, I know that I can quite strongly go, yeah, number 1 to 5 are really, really good, and there's some that I prefer more than others, but they're really good. And then 5, I don't. There's definitely a quality marker that I put down there, and this film
Mine's
is like
kind of after 3.
Terrible. Well, yeah, you sort of have 1 to 3.
Because I remember 1 to 3 because I had them on video, and that's literally all I would watch as a kid. And then I only got the other ones many years later.
I think the fact that I didn't watch this film when it came out probably contributes to my feeling that way.
Because you don't have the nostalgia for it.
I don't have nostalgia, and I didn't really pick up watching movies as they came out again until the Manaphy and Lucario movie, because they were accessible at that time.
They're not now.
So yeah, Ooh, question about this
Not
film.
now.
Not now. Question about this film. Absol and Flygon make their kind of big appearances.
Yeah,
The
Absol.
only time Flygon is in any way relevant or useful in Pokemon history.
Really? What do you mean?
Joe's just being mean to
What do you mean
Flygon.
about Flygon? Well, I was going to ask you, are these Pokemon popular because they were in the film, or are they in the film because they were popular?
They're in the film because there were no other Pokemon to use.
What do you mean? Because there's no other Pokemon.
Well, they needed to showcase Gen 3 Pokemon.
Yeah, and like Butler had a Salamence, so what do? Do you bring back Charizard again? No, you just
Right, yeah,
use a
Flygon.
Flygon.
Because
And
people, I mean,
Absol's great.
Absol and Flygon are wildly popular Gen 3 Pokemon. Like, they're wildly popular.
Flygon's wildly popular.
Yes. Oh my god, what is your weird beef against Flygon? People love Flygon. Look at the chat right now. People love Flygon.
People are saying in chat they love Flygon.
Flygon is an incredibly popular Pokemon.
Absol's an incredibly Pokemon.
Yeah.
Absol.
No, I think most people I know would say, "Oh yeah, Flygon's on my top."
But
whatever."
Flygon has never really done anything. I mean, the closest it's got to relevance now is in Sun and Moon. It's used by Mallow as her Pokeride Pokemon.
Oh right, okay.
But I'm talking the anime, not the games.
Right, yeah.
I was gonna say like what?
Yeah, it hasn't had a great time on the show. I know it was a feature Pokemon.
Drew had one. in the
Yeah, Drew
Pokemon
had it.
contests.
It was a feature for the Dragons EX.
And a lot of people
card
wanted a Mega Flygon.
Um,
Hence my yearly clue.
This Pokemon did not get a Mega.
This Pokemon does not have a Mega Evolution. The answer is always Flygon.
well, yeah, and that was it. I mean, during the Oras days, people were begging it to get a Mega, and in the end, they were just like, we just can't settle on a design that works for it. Yeah.
But overall, I thought the story was nice, easy to follow. It wasn't too complicated. I did feel like the narrator really over-explained things
yeah,
a
that
lot
was-
to start to set the scene.
that
It
was
like,
just in the
I
dub.
get, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get narration, but it felt very strong at the beginning. I was like, yeah, all right, we can follow this. It's fine. But overall, I thought it was a nice story, and I thought, the relationship with Max and Jirachi was nice, and I thought Ash and Max's 1-to-1 was nice, and I didn't think
Shame it's just with Max.
the main battle at the end was too
I think
long,
I think it all needed more Pokemon battles, though. Because
Yeah.
there wasn't any. I don't think there was a single Pokemon battle, really. Apart from
No.
Absol showing up.
Yeah. And Team Rocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not all about the Pokemon battles, it's a good film. I enjoyed it. I think it's.
Did you?
I've enjoyed film.
Yeah, you know what annoyed me?
I
The constellations in the end credits.
Oh my gosh.
Those were so bad. So I was
Yeah.
trying to guess what they were. Oh, it's a Machoke holding a Survivor. It's like,
Oh, yeah, it's a really
so
good
funny.
film.
Like the constellations, we were trying to guess them all and failing so badly because constellations never look like the thing that people say they look like.
I
It was so
got to
funny.
admit, out of the Pokemon Movie Club, every film we've reviewed so far, this probably is my least favourite.
Really?
And not because I hate it or anything, but just because I find it a little bit dull. I think it's
it,
a little...
it is pretty dull.
It's
devoid
one
of
of-
any
yeah.
content. No.
It's
Yeah.
not one of the most action-packed ones. I can agree with that.
It just doesn't evoke anything from me. I watch it, and I was watching it, and I was like, okay, are we done yet? I would like to move on to a different Pokemon film.
Oh, we've got a good few coming up as well, so
Yeah.
I am excited about that. But
We're set for good movies for the rest of the year, to be fair.
yeah, pretty much.
Except the Manaphy movie.
I
don't
enjoyed the
remember.
Manaphy movie, I think.
But we will talk about the Manaphy
We'll talk
movie
about that
another
when we
time.
do that movie club.
But overall, Jirachi movie, I've enjoyed films a lot less. I've enjoyed films a lot more. I've definitely enjoyed it more than Captain Marvel movie. Joe, your overall thoughts on Jirachi movie?
aggressively mediocre.
But not the worst. You
I
want a
don't
bit
know,
more action.
actually. This is probably one of my least favourite ones.
You really don't like Max, do you?
Not that. It's just, it's dull. The rest have got something going for them. The Victini one, the Keldeo one.
You do like a bit more action.
I do like a bit more action.
Toby.
You know, I'm not in love with it. And I have a very neutral kind of opinion on it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I just kind of forget about it quite quickly. So I think all in all, I you know, there are episodes of the show that are more exciting. So, yeah. So that's kind of where I land on it.
Well, the Necrozma arc is essentially a good movie.
Yeah.
So, essentially, it's the
And the Zygarde one.
sideways thumbs. Yeah, that's where we're at with the Jirachi movie. Let me know if you're live on Twitch right now what you think in the comments. I'm gonna read a few of them in the post show, and let me know in the comments on Facebook what you think of the movie. Next month we will be watching
Destiny Deoxys.
And that's the 7th film, and we will be on, when did we say? April 19th, so Friday, April 19th, we will be back here doing a little discussion about that one. We have also, just so you can preemptively plan, after that, Detective Pikachu will be here. Woo! And we are all so excited about that. That is out on the 10th, and we are going to be talking about that on May 31st. So you'll have 3 weeks to head out and watch Detective Pikachu. We feel like that's a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, we would have done what's after Deoxys? Lucario, and then Pikachu in June. But we just would really want to talk about Pikachu, so that would be on.
We're going to want to talk about Detective Pikachu quite heavily. I think we're going to want to make that a special episode. I think.
Can't wait.
I mean, we could still do Lucario in May and do.
No, it's too many. Too many. We want to talk all about Pikachu. So yes, 19th for Destiny Deoxys. I think that's everything I've got to say. If you want to watch Destiny Deoxys, it's another Miramax one, so you can't find it anywhere but on DVD for about £3. Actually, there might be a combo box.
There is a combo box.
It's a very accessible film, Destiny Deoxys.
Yeah, you can find it about. Just go to a DVD shop, and they tend to still be there. So I think that's everything. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching today, and we'll see you next time for Destiny Deoxys.
Until next time, see ya.